Welcome back to another exciting episode of No Quest for the Wicked. Gentlemen, I have two very important questions for you. First and foremost, are you ready to rock?
I'm ready to rock the block off this fucking mannequin.
Next, are you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll away from this mannequin's attacks.
Well, we're going to start right into it. Roll me initiative. But before we do that, I'm going to do a little bit of a recap. You successfully landed on the planet of Dura Sancta, your new home, despite the previous attempt to do so ending in complete and utter apocalyptic catastrophe. The world ended last time you tried to do that, and you realize now that that was some sort of prophetic vision or shared trauma response or something, but all you know is that Vlyn, Flit, and Lacey seem to be connected somehow in this vision. Together, you are working with Lacey, who is a member of Estrella Securities, the private security force of Dura Sancta, hired by Wade Enterprises. She has hired you as independent contractors or private investigators to look into some of the mysterious going-ons. Specifically, what you are looking and tracking down right now is the magical sphere that absorbed Vlyn's magical pick at the end of the world vision that you saw. You were able to track down a relic hunter and his allies at Nynx's coffee shop. Madden was then able to make a deal with you guys that if you were able to find a book that he's looking for, he will assist you in locating this sphere. But
I'm pretty sure it was pretty strong that it's a tome, Dane.
It was a tome, you're correct. But as you were leaving, you spotted something suspicious, which was one of the mannequins in a nearby clothing store was actually a Porceling, and it attacked you, attempting to grab Vlyn's pick. And that is where we are. Boys, what did you get for initiative?
I'm an old 14.
I'm a 9. Let's do this. I'm jazzed.
It goes first.
Oh, man.
I don't know if we're good at combat.
I don't know if we're good at anything.
I don't know what our characters actually do well at this point.
Okay, it is going to try to complete its action. Vlyn, it runs up right into your face, and like a heat-seeking missile goes right for your pick, like reaches down your shirt, grabs it, and attempts to rip it off.
Consent!
You are going to have to give me, we're going to do opposed athletics checks to see if you can fend off the attack.
Okay. Athletics I'm good at. I used to take exercise classes at the community. What'd you get?
I got a 27.
Then we're
I
level
got a
2.
24, you bitch. You sweet
I rolled a 19.
You pathetic little guy. I rolled a 17.
So this Porceling, which I should mention, is wearing a dress. It was hiding in the sort of like display.
Fully mannequin mode.
So it's wearing this like yellow floral print sundress. It manages to grab this pick and tear it off your neck, and then begins fucking hauling ass, like sprinting away into the crowd. It is your turn, Flit.
As Flit sees this, he's like, consent! Consent! And he turns around. Is that little robot that, like, let us in anywhere? Scrappers, I believe it was called.
Give me a luck check.
An 8.
No. You see him, or at least, like, one of him, way down at the other entrance, talking to some people who have just come in.
I'm like, thief! It's a thief! And as I start yelling, you hear, and I turn around and I see this tiny dog just kind of jumping out of nowhere at the Porceling. Oh god. For a 23 initiative. Or sorry, 21 initiative. Chase at this point is bad because it's going to be top of the round. That's okay.
This little puppy is now in initiative.
Vlyn, they're in cahoots! And that's my go. As I start running after the dog. Actually, I'm aiming towards the dog, not the Porceling.
No, the Porceling. I need my pick back.
Vlyn, it is your turn.
Cool. Vlyn's like lightning scars start to glowing a little bit, and as I start to mutate, my land speed goes up, and I'm gonna run up. I can catch up to it, I hope.
So technically, we're going to be entering into a chase at this point.
Okay.
So the next thing you'll have to give me is it's in the crowd. It has weaved itself into the crowd. So you're going to have to tell me what you are going to do to navigate this crowd. And because of your increase in land speed, depending on what you do, I will give you a bonus.
Yeah, so I think what Vlyn's going to try to do is sort of hone in with like his blind sense a little bit and to, like sort of hone in on that so he can track its movement, so he can do a better job at following it exactly as it's navigating the crowd. So he to try to lessen the chances that it slips away.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give you a +2 for a combination of the blind sense and the movement speed. So give me, I guess, like an athletics to run and navigate.
26.
Yeah, hell yeah. This sort of like flood of people who are just kind of like shopping. They have bags. You're able to perfectly weave in and out, almost following in the exact footsteps of the Porceling. You can hear it like the click, 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 click on the mall floor. You're weaving in and out perfectly, keeping pace. You haven't lost them. You can clearly see. And certain people are starting to like notice that there's a mannequin running. So there's a little bit of a panic happening within this sort of like isolated area of the mall.
Somebody call Astria Securities, please.
And just so everyone says it differently, it's Astrea.
Somebody please call Astrea Securities, please.
Someone in the crowd is like, you mean Astrea?
Sure. Definitely not the other one.
Hey, bro, do you mean Astrea? Who's Astria? Come on, bro. Would you just get here today or maybe yesterday?
Yeah. I'm really sorry. I have somewhere to be.
Hey, there's a fucking new loser here. Get him.
It's Doggy's turn.
The dog. Do you need the dog to run through the crowd? Because I can technically summon them nearer to who they're chasing.
Yeah, I mean, he's. How far can you summon it?
That is a wonderful question. It just says range medium. It doesn't specify.
No, that's like 100 feet.
That's like,
I think,
yeah,
or like 60 to 80. I think.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah, so yes, you were able to summon it like right on its heels.
Okay, so it's gonna lunge and try to tackle this mannequin. It's a 19.
When you say tackle, do you just mean attack? Are you rolling to damage it?
It's biting it, and it does have a grab attack. So if that's 4 over its KAC, it will also grapple it. If not, it'll just bite it.
It is not 4 over the KAC, but it is.
Okay,
you got very close, but no, you do hit it though.
Sure. Yeah, as it just like you heard and like chomps down on its ankle.
I don't know if they're in cahoots. I can't tell.
I assume the thing's still running. It's grabbing on and it's escaping with it. That's going to be full damage for 9 points of damage.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, you see this thing. Like you could tell that if this thing wasn't made of this like porcelain material, it probably would have made purchase because it's a hard substance. You just hear like that crack of porcelain. You can see it sort of like spider like the spider web sort of like crack shatter up through its calf and dealt a good chunk of damage to it. But you see that this thing has not slowed down in any of its pursuit. It is going to do an acrobatics check to move full speed away from the dog without incurring an attack of opportunity. Oh man, I wish I could remember how to do that.
I'm glad we know this game's rules at this point.
15 plus 1.5 the puppy's CR.
I think it's technically level 1.
Okay, so 16. It succeeds. So it is able to continue the escape or attempt to escape. Can you guys both give me perception checks?
Nat 1. I'm like on my hands and knees trying to see through the legs of the crowd to see where the puppy's gone.
Yeah, I rolled an 11. I'm just so focused on this thing that I don't think I'm paying much attention to what's around me.
I will say 11 is kind of enough to. You're watching this thing's movements, and it seems there's something weird about it. And I think that's...
Well, it's a living mannequin, Dane.
Yeah, but the way it moves...
It's not moving like a living mannequin should.
Yes, that is... I know you're joking now, but that is it. It's not moving the way that like something like this should.
Okay.
You could see that it's like... No, I think with 11, that's all you get.
Okay.
As it notices that sort of you guys are chasing it a lot easier than it was kind of expecting. It was really hoping the surprise would have you stunned a little longer. It runs, and as someone is getting on one of those like mobile platforms that lifts you up to the center, it runs and grabs onto the bottom of it, and it begins floating up with this grav platform up to the center column of the mall. And when it gets there, it readies an action. It is
all right.
Flit's turn.
Is it now visible if I was to shoot it, for example?
You would. It's pretty far away, but yes, you can definitely.
I only have 30 feet range.
You can definitely see it.
That ain't gonna do it.
He ran 30 feet on his first round, then another 30 now.
Cool. Well, I ran 30 on my first round. He'd be about 30, and then
if you want to, yeah.
Do I have to be on one of those platforms, or is there a nearby wall that I can just engage my mag boots and start running up?
No. So you could, but it would be like a full. He's going to the center column of the mall, so there's nothing attaching it except for the outside. So if you wanted to like run up the whole circumference of the wall and then try to jump drop down, you could. But the only way to get to the center column are these platforms.
I guess I'm just going to try to follow it then and try to get another one of those platforms going up.
Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to think of. I think I need an athletics check to try to time your run to one of the platforms that's coming and going.
What about an acrobatics to gracefully?
I'll take an acrobatics.
Leap on.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to do it. A 14.
Yeah, that's enough. This wasn't a difficult thing to do. You're just trying to get on a platform that are fairly readily available. You're able to like jump onto a platform right as like another dude is about to get on.
Yeah, I think I'm very gracefully like slipping through the crowd, like oops, sorry, like but like so that by the time I'm past, people barely know I'm there, and just like ooh, and just like hop on. So I'm like, hey, fuck you.
It is Vlyn's turn.
I'm going up, Vlyn.
I'm coming too. I guess I try to get on the platform as well.
Are you getting on the same one as Flit, or trying to?
Trying to, yeah. Like I'm not going to get hit. Like I want him to keep going. I don't want him to stop for me. So if I can still make it to it without slowing down the platform, I'll do it. If not, I'll take my own.
Give me an athletics check. See if you can make it there in time.
I didn't use my action, so can I hold out a hand to just like
I'll
pull him up?
I'll give you a +2 on the athletics for this then.
17.
Oh, yeah. Easy. Yes. The platform just begins starting to leave. Flit reaches down, grabs you, pulls you up onto the platform. And now the two of you are going up. And just as you look up to catch the porceling, you see that it has grabbed a garbage can and has fucking hucked it at you. Can you both give me reflex saves?
14.
16.
Flit, you pass. You're able to nimbly dodge out of the way, but when you do, the can just hits fucking Vlyn center mass right in the stomach, and you're gonna have to give me another reflex save, Vlyn.
That's 11.
You fall off the platform and are just
get my pick back. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
I feel like I don't even notice you're gone. I'm like, God, he's throwing rubbish at us. How uncouth. I turn around, you're just not there. Vlyn, he's up here.
Give me a luck check, please, Vlyn.
How much worse can it get for him, Dane?
18. That's pretty good.
You land on a platform that is just following up behind you. You are going to take a little bit of damage from the fall. You take 3 points of damage from the fall.
Well, plus my ability, because it's not magic damage. I'll take an extra couple damage.
Okay.
The platforms are probably magical.
No, the garbage can wasn't.
I don't know.
Dana, was it a magic garbage can?
It was not a magic garbage can. You hit this platform pretty fucking hard, and those lightning scars sort of like sizzle for a second with this impact, dealing you a little extra damage. And you are now on a platform with this like mom and her kid who's like, she's like just holding and just so scared of you.
Oh, hey, I'm so sorry. There's a thief. Your kid's really, really cute. Yeah. How's raising a child going? Pretty good, I hope. Yeah. I'm just waiting. I will promise you I'll be out of here as soon as I catch up.
Can you give me a diplomacy check?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all cool. It's all cool. That's a 9.
She starts hitting you with her purse.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to do any damage, but it is a knee-jerk reaction that you are just...
It's giving some sanity damage. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, he's just sort of there taking it. It's like, I don't mean you any harm. I am so sorry.
Vlyn, act less lowbrow.
I'm a lowbrow guy.
It is the dog's turn. It is still on the sort of like main concourse of the mall. I don't know if you wanted to try to get on a platform as well.
I think it's going to charge straight up. Well, are the platforms like just floating, or are they going
so
up the column?
They're essentially, imagine like escalators that are independent. They're
I thought they were part of a thing.
No, they're sort of like just little personal elevators that sort of like cycle through, kind of like a roller coaster, the way that like they queue up the next platform or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it'll try to jump on one of those then as well.
Okay, it can find one. I'm not going to make it
Sure. It jumps on one.
Yeah. So it'll get up there next round. It is the Porceling's turn. It makes its way into the bubble of the food court, and as it does, it's like grabbing trays as it runs past and like flings them onto the floor. These are like full trays of food. Like people are like mid-meal, and it's you can hear like shouts and screams and exclamations of anger. You also see it sort of like parkour over some of the tables, like those like two-handed like leaps over tables, with a shocking dexterity, and it's going to keep running. It is Flit's turn.
I assume the barrier of trays and food on the ground is an impediment. Does that mean that the actual tables themselves would be a little bit of a safer trip, considering he's made more of a mess down there?
So I'll give you sort of a lay of the land, and you can decide what you want to do. You can try to run the fastest route, which is straight through the food court. Mm-hmm. However, as you said, the spilt drinks and food is hazardous. You'll have to do a reflex save to avoid slipping.
Okay.
If you want, you can go the long way around, which will grant him a little extra leeway, but you will have to do a very easy athletics check or whatever check. If you want to, you can try to run over the tables. That will be a sort of like, that's a middle of the ground route.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. It's reflex time. In Flit's younger days, he was bought by one of his older siblings, like a hoverboard. So he's been on a board. He runs and jumps directly onto a tray at the start of this scoopy mess with the aim to land on it and just like sail through.
Yeah, slide across it. Yeah.
16.
That is enough. You are able to hop on this tray and sail over the slop and the various food and drink items to keep pace with this guy.
Do I have a clean shot at him at any point?
I will say at the end of your attempts, yeah, you can try to take a shot at him.
Sure. As this is going, I like pull out this like big bulky like rifle and I'm like trying to aim like whoop, 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 and then I'm gonna shoot at him. Ooh, I'm gonna guess that'll hit because that is a 22.
Yeah.
EAC.
It doesn't matter what it is, it hits.
For 4 points of sonic damage. And Flit has never felt cooler.
You see that crack on its leg sort of like shatter up a little bit more as the sonic wave slams into its back. You see it falter for a second and actually falls, but it manages to like tuck into a somersault and like handspring up to almost not even miss a beat in terms of its escape.
Vlyn, it's some kind of acrobat.
Vlyn, it is your turn. You are essentially 2 slots behind right now.
Okay, so my mutation points go up again. I get even quicker, so I'm up to 40 land speed.
Damn, okay. Like a plus 40 or just 40 total?
No, like 40 total.
That's a good lord.
I'm not the Flash. We're good. Not yet. So I think he just like takes a couple quick jumps like to warm up, and then he's going to try to just sprint and like long jump the slop.
Okay, so you're going to have to give me a pretty good athletics check for this. I'm going to say over 20.
How does 21 do, Dane?
That's over 20.
Tell me what this looks like as you enter into sort of like that gravity bubble around the food court sort of ripples as you enter into it.
I think, well, first he looks at the mother and says, I am so sorry for the miscommunication. I mean you no harm. Have a lovely day. Your baby is very cute. Sayonara. And he just like goes, does his jumps, gets it. I think as he leaps, his scars flare and there's like a little bit of like a purple glow more than normal, and he just sort of just gives it to her like an Olympian for a moment. This is as athletic as his dad has ever looked in his life, as he clears it and then just keeps on going.
I know what you're gonna say now, and it's the gives it to her.
It gives it to her like an Olympian? Okay, Ryan.
Okay, Ryan.
I'm sorry, that's the Newfoundland. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, it's a cool moment. I shouldn't undercut it.
Yeah, I imagine it looks like that scene in Thor Ragnarok when he's on the bridge and there's like that lightning trail that comes out when he jumps up. Like I imagine that's kind of like there's almost like a push of lightning shooting you across, and you land sort of like right behind Flit. And Flit, you're shocked at like how quickly Vlyn has caught up, because last time you saw him, he was like 2 elevators below you, and now he's matched pace right behind you.
Yeah, I just look at him. I'm like, aren't you old?
We had an exercise group. We did calisthenics.
I am not familiar with that magic.
Just good diet. We only ate home-cooked food.
You see the Porceling has now like sort of left the food court, and as you guys are chasing after, you see a familiar Patra at one of the food stands, trying to get.
Are they eating ham?
Trying to get the
eating ham?
Attention of one of the food workers who's clearly distracted by the chaos, and you just hear Alakari being like, "Excuse me, do you know if there's any ham in this sandwich? And then he flinches for a second, goes, "Oh God, a bee! Oh no, I'm allergic."
To which?
And you see the Porceling has run into a clothing store. It is your dog's turn.
It barks, and I turn, and I'm like, wait, it's behind. And as I look, it just like keeps running and starts to fade from existence, and you just see the three eyes continue for like a little bit more, and then they blink out as well.
Okay, that's cool.
He's gone home. I only get him for 2 rounds.
Okay, then it is the Porceling's turn. They run into this clothing store, and you see it disappear down one of the aisles. It makes like a hard left turn. Does one of those like cool like wall flips, like the ones where they put their hands on the wall and like whoo, does like a little twist and keeps going down around a corner.
Did they even need to do that, or is it just showing off at this point?
I mean, like, they didn't have to slow down to turn, but you can tell that it like the time they saved was probably minimal.
I think it's fucking with us.
Show off.
There's one thing I don't like, it's a show off, as I just skateboarded right through this place.
Flit, is your turn.
Okay, Vlyn. How many aisles are there in this clothing store?
It's hard to tell, but it looks like there's like you can see like many. Like it's almost it looks kind of like
it's less of a boutique and more of a
it's
cool.
kind of like
more like a Winners.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I will go left and you will go right. Okay. Or should one of us stay by the door? Or should one of us look for the back exit? Fuck.
Let's keep it simple. First instincts only.
Okay, I'm gonna go look for the dog.
No, that's not. No, second instincts. Just the pick. The dog is this. It might be invisible.
Okay. What's the shop called?
That's an excellent question. It's called.
How about it's Count Thredula's?
Okay, yeah, sure. It's Count Thredula's.
Cool. Now let's put a vampire into this world too. Why not? Why not give Dane something like that to play with?
You see, all of the workers are wearing these like big high collared capes, and they've got like these like shitty, very obviously like plastic fangs, and you can hear them all sort of like they're screaming. But it's all like because they've got these fucking fangs in their mouth.
I text Lacey really quick, and I'm like, if you're responding to the chaos at the mall, check for the back exit of Count Thredula's. We think the perpetrator has fled that way. And I go in, I go left. And I want to roll a perception check to see if I can, because I'm assuming this fucker is going to try to bait and switch us with another mannequin.
Classic. As you turn the corner down the aisle that it went, you see that its dress is on the floor.
God damn it. Vlyn, it's naked.
Oh, indecent. It's an indecent show-off.
The worst kind. I'm going to roll a perception. Let me see. Wait, do I have survival? I definitely don't. I'll try the perception. Or you know what? I'm going to diplomacy to see if anyone in the shop can tell me where it went.
Sure.
I know you're in disarray. I know it is quite scary for members of the lower classes to be alarmed at their work that they are forced to do to live. Irregardless, where did this thing go? We are here to help. Fuck. I think that's a 12. Oh, it's a 10.
You can see that. Hold on. Let me do some acting.
Are you shoving dice up your teeth?
Yep. You can see the guy. He started this. And you can tell that this guy is trying to help you, but his unfortunate work outfit is preventing him from providing any sort of intelligible. He is, however, pointing towards a specific part of the store, though.
Okay, I'm going to head that way. Let me double check how my paradoxes work, because I don't know if I just swapped them out before or if I can change them. It's like, speak clearly, Speak clearly. Does anyone here who, no offense, can speak clearly here? And someone else is like,
yeah, 4 other people show up and they're all just just babbling at you.
Vlyn, they're ill. Yeah, I'm going to move towards the area.
For sure. Okay, great. I will. Well, we'll see what Vlyn does, and then maybe we'll describe the situation. Vlyn, what are you doing?
Okay, so I'm gonna head to that corner of the store.
Where you see them pointing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm gonna close my eyes. Vlyn's antenna start to shake a little bit, and I'm gonna see if this thing moves at all, if it falters, because it is sort of living. So it might not be as solid as the other mannequins. So I want to see if I can get any kind of movement, even like a shake or a shimmer.
Right.
Maybe with its unstable leg.
Maybe with its unstable leg.
So as the two of you reach the area that they've been pointing to, you can see that they're currently setting up a new clothing display for the summer's hottest fashions. It's just capes. However, they haven't started yet, so there is 20 different unclothed mannequins.
God damn it.
I am going to do...
It has a visibly broken leg, is all I'm saying.
I mean, yes, if you want to take the time to sort of like look through, but they're all facing you. So I'm going to do a reflex save and see how steady this thing is. If it fails, what is your class DC right now?
My class DC...
I don't know if evolutionists have that listed somewhere.
No, but like it says save DC 14, skill DC 16.
Okay, then let's split the difference and do a 15 DC reflex save to see if...
Okay.
I mean, this might actually be a stealth check, but I'm going to do a reflex save because I like that better. You get a ping somewhere in one of the middle rows. It's tough to... They're definitely holding very, very, very still, but you can tell that there's something. So there's like 4 rows of 5. It's either in row 2 or 3. So I will say that on Flit's turn, it'll take less effort to search because you've narrowed it down to half, and you'll get a bonus on perception for anyone looking for them.
Okay, I'm gonna flash Flit like a 2 to 3 with my fingers.
A peaceful tripod? What?
Oh, I have telepathy. I just go in your head.
Say, don't you?
It's rows 2 or 3.
Oh, from the left or the right?
I don't know. It's one of the 2. You take the left again, I'll take the right again.
Do you have an explosive device upon your person?
Yeah, these fucking fists.
Oh, Flynn. How uncouth, but I mean a grenade or some sort. We just throw it in.
Can't set off a grenade, it's a mall. It's a public mall.
It's cheap clothing that will barely last the season.
No, do you see the price tag on these capes?
It's nothing.
That's
it's only a couple of
paycheck.
$1,000.
What do you mean a couple of
The
thousand?
cheapest cloak you see is 6,000 credits.
6,000? More like Count Threadbare.
We come from different worlds. All right, I'm gonna feel bad breaking mannequins that might not be real.
Okay.
Or that are real.
I'll take row 2, you take row 3.
Okay.
It is the Porceling's turn.
Oh,
technically.
That's fair. I did just kind of skip by that.
However, it's going to keep trying to hold still, and I think it's going to ready an action as well.
Just got another. I think it's the mannequin holding another
It's got a garbage can over its head.
No, that's the style.
Okay, Flit, it is your turn. I'm going to give you a +2.
Okay,
to perception.
Perception. All right. Okay, that's not nothing. Oh, it's not great either. 15, including the +2.
You know what? I'm going to roll a stealth check. Let's see. You said 15?
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is, you went in row 2, right?
Yeah.
You know it's not in row 2, but you haven't located it.
Okay. I assume I can't.
No, you probably can't.
I can't,
back in my head.
Yeah, telepathy.
Yeah.
So Flit goes down, and he's just like, you could see, if anyone could see him right now, he's very indecisive about whether to call out. And then he goes, "It's not in row 2!"
It's going to take its ready to action and stab you.
God damn it.
So it lunges from row 3 to row 2 to stab?
Yeah, they're all sort of they're close by.
Okay.
And you see from its wrist this porcelain blade pops out, and the blade itself is actually quite ornate. There's carvings in the blade itself, and then it just tries to just stab straight down as you're crawling around looking at their legs, I assume is what you were doing. That is...
Jump scare.
That's not great. That's a 15 KAC.
And let me tell you, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that hits.
Yeah, we're level 3, dude. We don't have...
We're level 2, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh, level 2. Yeah, we're level 2. We're not
I was
even
like,
level
wait, can I
3
level up? You said, wait, 15 KAC?
Yeah.
Ooh, as it comes in, he just scrambles back and like hits mannequins, and the mannequins fall in front of him and like almost like prop him up and stop him from stabbing. As you miss by 1.
Hell yeah.
It's stabbing me, Vlyn!
It can't do anything because it readied an action to attack. Vlyn, it is your turn. This thing has now revealed itself. You can see it sort of like just taking mad stabs at Flit, who's like scrambling around on the ground.
Cool. I'm going to just like jump into action. Hold on, let me add another mutation point to see if that changes anything for me. Cool. I'm going to move up and I'm just going to try to get some shots into its lower body.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get a punch. That's a natural 20.
Damn. Roll your crit.
Give me back my pick! As my fists glow a purple. I need dice to do damage.
Do you have a critical hit effect?
That's a great question. I have an arc on it, so it wouldn't. There's nothing else to hit.
Isn't there?
Or is there?
Oh, I don't
All
know.
of
Is
the
there?
other mannequins come to life. No.
Well, I'm gonna blow up another mannequin.
How quickly you went from I don't want to hurt mannequins to
That's 17 points of damage, pal.
damn.
So, like, give me back my pick. Emerald will be so fucking mad at me. And I just, like, let go into him. It reverberates through the store. I feel like a couple mannequins are, like a mannequin explodes, and like some in the circle around me all fall down, just from the shockwave from this big old punch.
Yeah, you see center mass, another one of those spiderweb like cracks, just whoosh, whole chest, almost up to the neck, and it is the Porceling's turn. It's once again going to attempt its ability to move full speed without provoking attack of opportunity. It succeeds.
Isn't it bigger now that there's 2 of us?
It has a special ability too.
Bet it
Dane made a
does.
runny guy. He wants us to just chase him. Doesn't want to fight us. We made a punchy guy, and I don't even know what Niall's character does yet. To be honest with you,
I am a social architect, engineer even. I shoot real good and I skateboard in food muck.
That's what he gave me as a cool doc. That's all it said.
Yeah, no.
that's actually his character sheet.
Yeah,
He doesn't have any
he has no
stats.
stats. Nothing. He's
Been
rolling.
weirdly helpful so far.
So this is a lesson, guys. GM the strengths of your players. When the players come up with a character concept, that's why I made this whole encounter, was to give Nyla a chance to shine. This guy fucking hauls ass, and you see him smash through sort of an employee-only door and disappear to the right. It is Flit's turn.
Vlyn, he tried to cut my skin.
And now we break him.
I'll see you in there. I run in, I kick open the door, and I've got my gun out this time, and I'm like, I've had it with you, you Potter's toy. Do I see him?
You do, yes. He's going to finish his action just off. It happened off camera, but I think it's cooler to happen in media res. He runs, and as he does, he's pulling down these rolling racks full of boxes and product and stuff. There's clothing racks and stuff, and he's pulling those down. And finally, as he runs by, he takes his sword and stabs it into a fire extinguisher that fills this narrow surface, sort of employees only corridor, but that connects all the stores to sort of the shipping tunnels, and it blocks line of sight as he disappears into this smoke from the fire extinguisher.
I'm still shooting blindly, though.
Okay, it is a
50% miss chance, I assume.
I
if
think
he's
so, yeah.
Invisible, technically.
Yep.
So, odds. Do you want me to roll that first?
I think you also have to do a perception check to try to locate the square as well. Fuck it, yeah, take your 50% miss chance.
It's going to miss anyway. I'm going to say odds hits, evens misses. That's a 16. Never mind. I think I got him.
You hit the fucking fire extinguisher again. Okay, if you want to give chase, you'll have to give some way of getting through this obstruction that he's built with these boxes.
I'm never sure when I can use acrobatics instead of athletics. You know what I mean?
If you want to balance over the boxes, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to very carefully do that.
Okay.
And probably fall. That's an 11. No, it's not. It's a 13.
That's still not enough. DC 15. As you're going, you manage to get a couple good footsteps, but these are cardboard boxes, so your foot finally collapses through one of them, and you do sort of tip into the rest of them, crumpling them. Vlyn, It is your turn.
think Vlyn's gonna like barrel through, and then he's gonna like see the hallway.
You see like crumpling, toppling boxes, and you just hear, "They use bad quality cardboard, Vlyn."
Is there good quality cardboard?
Yes.
You mean wood?
What?
What?
One of the vampire store clerks pumps in and goes, huh?
Okay, Vlyn gonna close his eyes, gonna try to a brute force of blind strength and athletics. He's gonna try to just dodge and weave like it's an obstacle course.
Okay.
Just like focused on getting this pick back. So for athletics, that's gonna be a 20.
That is enough. Yeah, you're able to brute force this. You just kind of like one of those tire obstacle courses, the ones that you have to like run through. Yeah, you manage to deftly weave your way through. And once you break through the sort of the steam of the exhaust of the fire extinguisher, you see that the porceling has turned once again into sort of a maintenance corridor, separate from this one. He's opened up another door and entered into that.
Cool. I'm going to just use the extra feet that I would have and just get as close as I can.
It is the porceling's turn, and once again, he's disappeared into this maintenance hallway. And in front of you, another door smashes open, and Lacey runs into the service tunnel with her pistol drawn. And she says, "I got Flit's text. Where is he?"
Porceling. Somewhere that way.
Okay. And she...
Lacey, they use bad quality cardboard. Is that illegal?
She looks at you and she says, "You mean wood?"
What? That makes even less sense.
The clerk is like, whoa.
And you see that Lacey is going to chase after the porcelain, goes into the maintenance room, and you hear gunfire.
Oh.
Flit, it is your turn.
From where I am, because I'm like up on the boxes, right?
Technically, you're down in the boxes.
Well, but the boxes themselves are up, right? So I'm like at least medium.
I mean, they're just like on the floor. What do you want to do?
Then I was just going to see if there was another avenue I could see from my unique perspective drowning in cheap clothing.
None of the porcelain. He's like in another room now. He's gone into like,
but maybe a vent or maybe an access, something to get to the next room.
Yeah.
That's why it's
fine. No,
it's
I
fine.
like that. I like that a lot. You are able to. There's like a fairly large vent that you can see sort of into this maintenance area that is attached to this service tunnel. It looks like it might be like a shipping receiving area, and inside you see Lacey shoot and take off the hand that was holding the pick, and it's on the ground, the pick safe and sound. But as you see her sort of like shooting at this thing, you see it run and jackknife plank completely flat and disappear through a hole that is in the wall, like a covered vent. Just goes right through it, like kicks open the grate, slides through it and disappears into the wall.
It's in the wall, but it did leave behind your thing, so small victories.
Pick is there?
I think so. I struggle out of the boxes and just start walking towards the
Yeah,
thing.
I will take us out of initiative. The chase is over. Porceling has gotten away, but you have successfully, with Lacey's help, managed to recover the pick.
We did it again with no NPC help.
We're very good at character making.
And as you join Lacey in the maintenance room, she is holding the sort of like severed, shattered arm and hands it over to you, Vlyn, and just says, "I think this is yours."
Is my pick in its hand?
Yes, the pick is clutched in its hand.
Oh, thank goodness. We should probably also, now that we have a piece of it, get someone we trust to look at it.
Yes, I agree. Also, that's one more thing. Our crazy Dream Team vision, it has now proven true. Porcelain monsters. None of it was metaphorical at all. These are all things we somehow knew.
Lacey walks over and sort of like the hole that it disappeared into is I mean, big enough for a person to like lie down and go through. She is able to like sort of stick her head in. She's got her gun kind of point down as well, trying to look through.
God, you're brave.
Looks back, pulls her head back out with a sort of disappointed shrug.
How long has it been masquerading as a mannequin in that one store? How many other mannequins are compromised?
Well, or just things in general. The porcelings are here. They're among us.
I hate this. And also, maybe you should just leave your thing behind in a big old safe.
No, I don't trust the safe. What if the safe's a porceling?
We'll shoot it first, a few times.
then the safe won't be as good as a safe.
We'll get one good enough to hold up to some bullets, because a good safe should.
Look, it stays with me. That's why I have it. And it's like they're after it, which means at the very least they'll come to us.
That's terrible. I don't want them to come to us.
We're the ones who know they even exist. Like, even with the footage and evidence from today, I don't know if anyone's going to believe us.
How about we give it to the person we need to know exists, like the mayor or whoever idiot is in charge of this.
My pick. They also could be involved. We don't know, Flit. The only people we can trust is the dream team. That's it.
Lacey says, as much as I agree with you in terms of keeping this as hush-hush as possible, people are going to notice that there was a mannequin running through the mall.
Yes.
Yeah, but people are weird with what they want to believe, right? Well, this place is messed up, so who knows?
That is kind of my point, is we should get in front of it while we can and maybe find a way to spin it so that we don't panic people and we don't get people looking into things that we don't want them looking into quite yet.
Yeah, just call it a rogue robot.
Portnoy told me that he was reading through the welcome package and that this was initially a tower that fell, killing many people. What if we just say it's an amalgamation of all their tortured souls after being...
No, then we ruined the mall.
It's haunted, that's fun.
Yeah.
I thought you people loved hauntings and ghosts and stuff.
No.
Again, I don't think... One, I don't think Wade Enterprises will be happy if we brand their mall as a tortured soul location. And two...
But they're happy with this Dracula farce?
Well, yeah, I don't think they care about gimmicks.
Let's say it's a gimmick.
I think we just say rogue robot. What's different between a robot and a porcelain man?
And a ghost.
I think people would believe a robot more than a ghost.
We're gonna leave ghosts are fully real in this world we live in.
Yes, but it's
why is a ghost just hanging out at a new mall? Yeah.
It's because it crushed so many people. Keep up, Vlyn. It's very simple.
No, I read the package. Like, I get it. Yeah, we should avoid painting the mall because we will have Wade Enterprises as an enemy as well, who we will eventually need to help.
Wade, they're small beans. They won't bother with us.
They're small beans.
They're tiny.
That's just not true. They're definitely richer than you are.
Not richer than Papa.
Do you even understand wealth?
Do you? I'm looking at your outfit.
Well, do you know how much money's in your bank account?
It just keeps going.
That's just not how it works. We're gonna have a talk about finances at some point.
I am showing you a card that just has the infinite symbol on it. Papa gave me this when I was young, and it just keeps going. Anyway.
Oh God.
Look.
Anyway,
what do we gain by not letting people know about this?
Paranoia, hysteria, riots in the streets.
Who's gonna riot? And maybe that's a good thing.
Riot. It's not a good thing.
Over living mannequins? And yet they won't riot over rogue robots?
Look, guys, I understand you just went through another crazy experience with a new entity that we saw in a dream. I get it. You guys are you're stressed.
Yes.
If we're going to let everyone know that there are porcelings running around, then I'll just hand this over to my boss now. And then we don't have to worry about it. And then you guys can get monitored.
Yes.
Okay, great. Flit, I'll let you take a look through the laborer guide for you to pick a job.
You're right. We bring to the table a mixture of new perspectives. You're right, but I just mean what? Surely there are other people whose weight of intelligence. You're right. We're the most intelligent people here. We've got
ourselves, man. We've got to do it ourselves.
I'm not saying that we do it ourselves. I'm just saying that before we let everyone know, the entire general public, that there could be a problem that we don't understand, we wait until we understand it to inform people. Otherwise, people are going to start going crazy. People are going to start doing stupid things. People are going to start looking into things that they don't understand, and then it's going to make our job of actually protecting this place a lot harder. That's the bottom line.
I thought the general populace was calm and competent.
Who said that?
What?
The TV. It's on the shows.
Yes, of course.
What?
They're stoic and they work hard.
Sure, they do, but no one wants to live in a place that's under attack.
Okay. I worry that their lack of preparedness will be a mark against us in the future should the porcelings try something a little bit more large scale than jumping on Vlyn and stealing his jewelry. However, I trust you because you are yourself proven and competent, and you shot that arm off and saved said jewelry. So are we saying that this is some kind of street-style advertising influencer thing?
I'm saying that this isn't a decision we need to make.
Oh, great.
I'm suggesting that we bring a few more people who are good at this thing into the mix. We don't tell them everything. We just tell them it's a private investigation. Look, there's someone who works at Estrella specifically for this kind of thing. We talk to her. We let her know.
Person, PR.
Yes, she is there to sort of, protect Wade's interests. That will work in our favor because she will find a way to spin this in a way that will protect our investigation and keep everyone calm. And we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to come up with any plans, and anything that goes wrong is on her.
I like that part.
That's a great part.
That's a
great
good
plan.
part, yes.
That's a good part.
Lacey, you've done it again.
You're brilliant, Lacey. Just us two idiots on our own? Oh, man. Oh, man.
Okay.
Well, if you hadn't gotten distracted upsetting a woman and her young child, then maybe we would have caught the thing before Lacey even arrived. Not pointing fingers, casting blame.
Did you see the amount of cracks I put in that thing?
I also shot it. And I almost got stabbed.
Also, we broke a couple mannequins. I don't know where that comes out of.
Vlyn broke a couple of mannequins.
No, we did, collectively.
I think it'll be fine, guys. Don't worry.
Vlyn, how did I break a mannequin?
You have infinite money. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay your way. Oh, Father always said the lower classes would come to me for money like this. I didn't think you were the sort.
Normally, I'm not. It's a part of it, man.
Fine. Lacey, put the mannequins on my card.
Yeah, okay, sure. How is your side of things going? You were looking for Madden, right? To locate the sphere?
Yeah, we found Madden. We have to find something for him before he'll help us out.
You might be able to help us with that. A tome.
Yeah, a tome.
Do you know about a tome?
It was very explicitly a tome.
Dusty has a whiff of the ancient upon it.
Yeah, has some weight.
Yeah.
A tome, Lacey. Lacey, a tome.
No,
a tome.
I understand. Yes, you're looking for a tome. There was a book in the early days of the settlement that was found.
A book?
A tome.
Perfect.
That was found and used in a pretty grisly murder.
Ooh.
Okay, that sounds promising in terms of what he's looking for and not promising in terms of us getting mixed up with it. Where is said murder book, tome?
She shifts uncomfortably and she says, look, this stays between the two of us. And I mean that. And she's looking directly at you, Flit.
Yes, this stays between the two of us.
All of us. No one else knows about this but us. Prior to the murder, when we found this book, it was bad mojo. Like, it gave off some seriously bad vibes. So we took it, we hid it, we locked it up, and somehow it got free and out. And someone used it in a very grisly ritualistic murder. Once again, we took that book and we locked it up, or at least the people who were here locked it up in security, and it has gone missing again.
Oh no!
And were these people Estrella or were these people townsfolk?
These were the original sort of guards that were taking care of the settlement before we stepped in.
And when, upon what hour and day did it abscond with itself?
We don't know, because they weren't checking it every day, so they knew it was somewhere secure. And then one time when they were doing the inventory or something, they realized that it was missing. So sometime between last year and now.
So this is worrying because Roja wants the tome,
or just to know where the tome is.
Well, yes, to help us in turn. And now it sounds like maybe, given your general kind of air of secrecy, that you would prefer we don't, in fact, allow Roja to interact with or know anything about this tome.
I think we have to look at the bigger picture. If this tome is going to come and go as it pleases, or however it is meant to be,
then it doesn't matter if he gets it, because it'll just leave.
Correct. Or, alternatively, whoever stole it is planning to kill again, so getting it from them, at least if we know that Madden has it, we can swoop in and take it from them. Right? No one knows that we're working together. So if you hand it over to Madden, 2 minutes later, we can sweep in and be like, we found that you have something illegal.
That's a good plan.
It works for all of our favor right now, because locating this tome is pretty paramount. Again, my job is to keep this place safe. So if we can check boxes off while we look at the big picture, then that's all gravy in my books. Sorry, my tome.
Yeah, oh, Lacey.
She cracks like a very wry smile.
So should we just go straight into tome time, or should we check in with Oswald first?
I think we talk to Oswald because, in my opinion, we have no idea where to start looking for said tome. We can't just walk around until we smell dust upon the wind.
Yeah, and maybe knowledge of the obsidian will help.
Because the man that was killed, Darwin, was Oswald's like best friend. They were.
You had mentioned a tragedy prior.
Yeah.
Oh no.
They were very, very close friends, and his death, Darwin's death, really affected Oswald. And I know that he has been looking into sort of everything involving it. The obsidian was involved in Darwin's killing. The book was involved in Darwin's killing. So if there's ever a place to start, Oswald, I think, might be the best place.
Okay, we'll head there now after we get some lunch.
And again, try to keep our involvement secret. The less people know that Estrella or I am involved in what you guys are doing, the more deniability you have later on if we do need to come after Madden and his crew to get the book back.
Yeah.
Okay. Should we meet with your media person after this, or?
I'll set up a meeting and I'll let you know when she's ready to have a chat.
Excellent.
Until then, we don't talk about the mannequin. We don't talk about the porcelings. We will figure out what to do with it with Miss Nightingale.
Okay. Well, have a lovely day, Lacey. We're going to go and, I guess, talk to this somewhat crazy fellow.
Yeah, just be careful getting there. I'll ping his location. And she pulls out her phone, and your map app gets
Map.
It's map, but spelt with 2 P's.
Yeah, perfect.
Map.
It gets updated with the location.
But there's no A.
As you guys are doing that, one of the Dracula guys comes in and thinks you're talking to him.
Have they made a language between all the people who work there, because they can never?
It seems like they can.
So they can converse perfectly.
Yeah, it seems like they can communicate with each other, and it's weird because you'd think that store employees would need to be able to talk to customers, but whoever's running this place is very adamant on the Dracula aesthetic.
Fuck yeah!
I guess we need people in the Discord to name a vampire.
They may not be a vampire. That's a weird assumption. Come on, Vlyn. I like how much lore this place already has. It's the most well-developed place.
Yeah. The ping is sort of just outside of town. It's beyond the walls.
Beyond the walls?
Beyond the walls, yes.
Oh, I hate that, Vlyn.
I guess we have to rent a car.
It's not that far. It is walking distance.
Walkable.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get some pocket burgers and then we'll go.
There are terrifying things inside this mall even, so at least surely there can't be anything terrifying outside the walls too.
Well, if we see anything that looks like porcelain outside the walls, we just smash it, no questions asked.
Oh, yes. All right. Lead the way, Vlyn.
Hello, Space Jam Dane here to do the things. We're going to keep it real quick, as we always do. First and foremost, we hope you're enjoying this week's episode. Second, I would like to do a huge shout out to the people who participated in our naming contest that we did a while ago. It was a lot of fun. We got some great names. And I said before I was going to do a shout out on episode 1, but I thought it'd be more fun to shout out people as their characters appear, because it'd be weird to talk about characters that haven't showed up yet. Anyway, we have some people to talk about. First, I want to say a huge shout out to, and I apologize if I pronounce any of these names incorrectly, Zetley, over on our Discord, who did an incredible job building Nynx's coffee shop from the ground up. We've got menus, we've got staff, we've got a whole cast of characters, and you met a bunch of them. So the sort of relic hunter team that the crew met last episode were all created by Zetley, and it's just a gift as a GM to get these fleshed out characters that I can throw into a space whenever I need them, and they did an incredible job, and so thank you to Zetley for all of the hard work, and to everyone over at Nynx's Coffee Shop, because they did a kick-ass job. But let's talk about the naming contest. We've gotten 2 of them so far. The first and obvious one is Oswald Dwayne, which is our friend Drew from Carrying Wayward and the Gateleapers podcast. I didn't realize how much thought had gone into Oswald Dwayne's name. I didn't get a lot of the jokes that Drew was putting forward, because Drew is so much smarter than me. Oswald is based off of osmium, which is the densest material, because we made so many jokes about him being an idiot, and Dwayne, the rock, and he's obsessed with obsidian rock. Very good, Drew. You made me put in silly jokes into the show, which will be canonical, and a character who will probably be around for a while. And then we also have, and this is another name I'm going to struggle with here, because it is, for the most part, just consonants. I think all consonants. Kurdaber, and they came up with the name Darwin Glass for the Explorer, which is Oswald's friend who got murdered. So if you listened to the world building episode, you know that is the idiot explorer who kept going off on his own and ended up being killed. So huge shout out to Drew and Kurdaber for their contributions to the naming contest. You've officially named 2 characters that will play major roles in the show. That's pretty cool. Finally, we're going to be making some changes to the Patreon. We are essentially adding a new tier, but if you are currently on the Patreon, you don't have to worry about anything. We are essentially going to be bumping everyone up a tier. So the tiers now, I believe, are $3, $5, and $7 a month. What we're going to be doing now is we're adding a $10 tier, but anyone who's at the $7 tier now will be automatically bumped up to the $10 tier. The same thing, 5 goes to 7 and 3 goes to 5. You will not pay any more. You'll be grandfathered into the new rate. So if you've been considering joining the Patreon and you've been toying with the idea, now's a great time to do it, because you will be automatically bumped up on August 1st to the next tier up. So something to think about if you're thinking of supporting the show. And we're going to be doing a monthly side campaign that is completely independent from the main campaign, but it'll be Patreon exclusive. It'll be video content. It'll be unedited. It'll be raw. It'll be fun. If you've watched our other Patreon actual play stuff, it gets pretty wild over there. And I don't think this is going to be any different. Those will be available to the highest tier, the $10 tier. And then we will do a full breakdown of all the tiers and all the changes on our Discord. So if you want all the information before you make a decision, please head on over to noquestcast.com and join Discord. It'll be in the announcement section, so you can sort of like see what is going on, what's happening, and a better sort of like clear explanation of to how the tiers are going to work and how all of these sort of like grandfathering rates are going to work as well. If you are supporting the show, thank you very much. If you're considering it, now's a great time to jump on board. We thank you very much for your support. It allows us to do things like hire a composer, like we just did, to make custom music for the show. Shout out to Grant. That's it for this break. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. In the meantime, please be safe, be kind, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
No Latency Season 2 has begun, Night City has changed, and Domino is back.
A good thing we're not collecting vending machines anymore.
The crew are once again on the trail of a mystery.
You ever been to space?
Iona has new burdens.
Why do I recognize the plane?
Retro tackles new challenges.
An elevator that works in an apartment building.
And Jeb is just Jeb.
Bust down this door. Oh, no, sorry. Let's knock on it.
But now they have a medtech on board, Vivi.
I'm Vivi. I've heard good things about you.
Together they'll blaze all over Night City and beyond.
Woo! Road trip, here we go.
To discover memories forgotten.
You are the only thing I remember. Help.
And new places to explore.
We have to go to the Glass District.
To uncover a plan that's bigger than anything they've ever seen before.
What else can you tell me about this wonderful compound that you've got here?
This season, the crew and Domino are taking back Night City.
All right, it's gonna be a tough one.
And then we get in the pod and we rescue Retro.
No Latency, a Cyberpunk Red roleplay podcast. New episodes every Wednesday wherever you listen to premium podcasts. See you in Night City.
Tell me what you
Okay.
eat.
Oh, burgers. We're gonna get some burgers.
A burger. Wonderful.
Are you guys going to get burgers?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you
You can walk and eat a burger. They're good food. We don't stop. We just go.
you guys hit up. Let's come up with a burger name.
Count Burgula.
This whole mall is run by vampires.
Bergenstein's monster.
Sure, Bergenstein's monster is the name of the burger place.
The Berg from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah, Burgerstein's is there's like the Raging Villager, which is like has onion straws.
Spicy.
Yeah, comes out like it's flaming when it comes out.
Nice.
There's like a magical illusion of fire. It's held together with a pitchfork.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's the obviously the Monster Burger, which is like it's their flagship burger.
Burgerstein's monster. Yeah.
But yeah, you guys can grab some burgers.
Yeah. I'll get a double wife of Burgerstein burger, please. Extra chipotle. And upsize the fries. And I'll get a Space Coke Zero with that, please. Thank you so much.
I'll also do a Space Coke Zero. But could I get the boneless angry mob? Chicken tendies, yes, thank you. And you know what? Throw in an angry villager while you're at it. It fits thematically.
You guys get your
it's like a little
food
slider.
to have your walk down burgs. As you're walking through, the way out is actually through sort of another section of town that you haven't been in. You guys came in through the port.
Before we leave,
Yes.
I return my boots and my glasses.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
And was I waiting for Ryan to say he leaves, only to be like, Ryan, what the fuck? And I'm really sad that we didn't get that option.
Yeah, there's little receptacles at the exit of every doors for you to.
My boots are fucking gross because I slid a tray through food slop, so they've just been absolutely drenched in food. They're disgusting.
They're actually I didn't really describe them, but the way that they work is they're just like the band of the boot that you snap on. So you don't have to change boots.
That sucks. So I guess my actual shoes are disgusting.
No, the boots over once you snap them on, they cover your stuff.
Oh, okay,
and then once you take them off, they sort of go back into the band, and you just turn in your bands, and then you turn in your sunglasses. Yeah, cool. And one of the robots that is named Scrap, or at least one of them is named Scrap, says, "Thank you for visiting Century Vista."
No, thank you, Scrap. And by that, I mean no thank you, because you provided no assistance whatsoever when the thief absconded with my friend's jewelry. We will remember this.
Okay.
Thanks, Scrap. Have a good day.
You as well.
Next time, be more attentive.
We have taken your suggestion into consideration.
Well, there we go. Now we've improved the place, Vlyn. Let's move on.
I guess all feedback is good feedback. I don't know if I believe that, but okay.
Yeah, you guys enter through sort of a section of town that seems pretty heavily under construction. There is a fairly large cathedral that is nearing completion. It still has the scaffolding up, but it seems like most of the exterior facade, you can see people sort of loading in boxes and crates and furniture and stuff. There's a large contingent of Shirin, sort of in robes, but also the workers who are also moving things in. And you also see a large number of people who are walking around with copper swords at their waist, which is a kind of a strange thing to see in space. A lot of people aren't rocking around with medieval weaponry. Even the swords that people use typically are technological in some way, or at least looks technological. These look like old-timey pirate swords.
I came up with some fucking batshit crazy stuff, guys. Was I high when we came up with this stuff? Was I high out of my mind?
Hey, wait till the final battle when the copper cutlasses are riding pink goats to the Ragnarok. That'll be
against the man bat that's been stalking the Highlands.
The man bat army.
God.
They ride the fucking time warped deer.
Was the book also me?
Yeah, the book was also you.
Oh God.
I just did normal stuff like the scary oil rig.
Yeah.
And the big old nuts.
The big nuts. The big rolling nuts.
Oh, we should have got a big nut burger, dude. We
Shit.
should have got roasted big nuts.
You notice that as you guys are walking through, there's sort of a tension in the air between the people with the cutlasses and the church.
Sexual?
Maybe. Some, a little bit, probably, between some of them. But it seems like the people with the cutlasses aren't necessarily helping, but they are sort of supervising. They're watching from a distance. But the Shirren seem absolutely unbothered by it. They're ignoring them, but there's like a weird sort of like dual presence here that you can just like feel is uncomfortable.
Vlyn, is there some sort of performance being put on?
I don't know. It looks like something straight out of medieval history. It's a bunch of monks being supervised by a bunch of people with swords.
Yes, they seem...
Also, there's religious tension in the air.
Just useless tools. I don't believe any of them vibrate or...
Symbols of authority. That's just it. It's like how, rich people wear fancy stuff because it makes you look fancy.
As you say that, Vlyn, you also notice a very large manor, completely unlike all of the other civilian housing that you've seen, like across town in the suburb where you guys live. You see that there is a beautiful, what can only be described as a manor, a mansion that winds up a hill at the back corner of the settlement. And you see that there are several trucks parked in front of it, and people like are moving things into it. And the things you see, Flit, are things that would probably belong in like your father's home. Like these are beautiful.
Is that my furniture?
You could tell it's not. This is nicer than your furniture.
Vlyn, this should be where I was living. This seems more like the house I should have been in. But this man, this person, these people, they've taste.
I've got a feeling that we might be looking at Wade Manor.
They have taste. I start moving, like running up. You delivery boy, who lives here?
They look at you for a second and they just say, I don't know what to tell you.
But you don't have to not tell me.
Sure. And they just keep loading things in.
15 diplomacy. But excuse me, what do you gain by not telling me other than rudeness, which I see no reason to, considering we're freshly met? I have not given you ill will.
One of the guys just walks by and just says, look, dude, you need to get out of the way. It's the Sterling Manor.
The Sterling Manor.
Oh, not Wade.
I'm going to roll an old culture check on that. 11.
There's something that like pings for you, Sterling. You know it's a pretty prominent family, but you're not sure for what. Like, you're not sure the origins of it. But you do know that there is a wealthy and powerful lineage known as Sterling.
Oh, Vlyn, isn't this wonderful? I was so worried I'd be down here and there'd just be like no one of note. No one with class, no offense. You know what I mean? And now I realize there will be a range of people, including people of my own caliber.
Yeah, sure. Maybe once he finds out you're here, he'll invite you to dinner.
Oh, proper dinner. No more of these instant noodles, you know?
Hey, they do the job.
It was 2 to 3 minutes at least.
Oh, come on. It was, yeah, okay. Like, you gotta get the water to like the perfect temperature. So
Vlyn,
like sometimes it takes...
The food was tasty. I just don't like to be lied to. Not by you, by them.
Some of the workers are like staring at you and kind of laughing, and they'll be like, are they arguing about instant noodles?
You there. Where's my furniture?
Everyone has just ignored you. They've heard you talking about instant noodles, and these like workers are hoity-toity as well. Like the movers are upper class movers.
Damn. Well, they're busy, Vlyn. Let's keep going. We have work to do. We're employed.
Sterling.
Do you have culture, Vlyn? You can roll if you want.
I do, actually. Really good culture. That's a natural 20.
Damn. Okay. So when you hear Sterling, you immediately know the name Lionel. Lionel Sterling.
Lionel.
Of the Sterling Dynasty.
They
are a family that has held power and wealth for like as long as Casamal history exists. Like they were sort of like early settlers of Casamal and have their hands in like everything. However, they are most known for their art and museums. They spend a lot of time collecting art, collecting statues, paintings, and
tomes.
Yeah, manuscripts would be included in that. Tomes.
Maybe magic glowing rocks.
They're more fine art than artifacts. Okay. But like the thing is they're ethical collectors. So if they do collect art that is indigenous to a land, they make sure that it is preserved in the place that it belongs. They don't raid planets and then like set it up on Therum or something.
So they're not England.
Yeah. So if they find artifacts and something on Goa, they create a place on Goa, a museum that preserves and protects it. You also know that they work very, very closely with the Preservation Society within the Federation of Councils. They're huge advocates for not only protecting art and culture, but also the animals and indigenous species of a land as well. They seem very, very, very set on that kind of stuff. There are rumors, I'll give you with a nat 20, that is all a front, that there is more nefarious dealings, that they do and use this sort of like altruism as a blanket. And, there's so much, there's almost like too much good press about them. There's almost too much adoration for them that it almost seems suspicious for someone as wealthy as they are. I will say that is the sort of like rumor around them. But in terms of like any proof of that, there only ever seems to be good things to be said about them across the board and like everything. They do have like the nuance of wealth. You know what I mean? Like they may be a little rude to people who are lower than their station, quote unquote, but they're not exploitive, if that makes sense. And you know that Lionel is married. He has a husband, and he has 2 children.
Okay, that's good to know. I don't know if that's relevant to what we're doing right now, but it's nice. It's nice to know, I guess.
Building a world, baby. You guys.
Building the world.
The gate out of the town is not too far off. It's kind of in between, sort of like the manor and the church of this sort of like upcoming district that is being built. And you people are free to leave. They can come and go whenever you want. You don't need permission. There's a lot of explorers, and that's kind of the point of being on this planet. There is a set of both town guards and Estrella at these places. Estrella seems to be manning the towers up top. There's like a watchtower at sort of like the cardinal directions where all the gates are, and then the town's guard are kind of on the ground at the actual gate itself. And down this road, you can see in the distance I don't want to say dilapidated, but
adorned.
Yeah, what's the word I'm looking for?
Ill-kept.
Yeah, but like not maintained, like a building that seems to have been built and then almost immediately forgotten. And the road itself also sort of like it's built halfway and then it just seems to stop. And then there's like kind of like a cobblestone dirt path that finishes the rest of the way. When you get there.
Is this where we're going? Or is that the like sanitarium we never finished?
That is both correct.
Okay.
That is where Oswald has taken up residence. He has purchased the prison that was being built and then abandoned. The real estate was there. He purchased it and has turned it into his lab, also his home.
Why didn't they finish this building, Vlyn? Seems wasteful.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure when they were building, a lot of people have different ideas, and sometimes you agree on one thing and then something random happens, like the roll of a dice.
No. They had a whole year.
Cancels it. I know they had a whole year, but it was a tower fell. Like it was a lot.
You guys approach the door, and there are these huge wooden and steel doors. They're incredibly like ornate for knowing that it was supposed to be a prison. A lot of the windows seem to have been replaced, but the bottom ones still have the bars on them. But the upper floor, it's a 2-story building, has nicer windows too. They're not barred off like the other ones. And there is a screen and a terminal with a little button. Boop. It rings for a few seconds before the screen flickers to life, and a stout, portly halfling is staring up at it from a very unflattering angle, as it's like the camera's looking down and he's looking up at it, and he goes,
"What do you want?"
Hello. We have a couple questions that we think you might be able to help us with.
No.
And the screen turns off.
I pressed again.
Once again, it rings for a very long time before he answers again. He says,
"Please leave me alone. I'm very busy."
Oswald, we're actually in the market for information and also to greet our neighbors, and there's an evil tome we need to discuss with you that we have information that you might be interested in.
I've got something you might want to see.
Yeah, a lot of actually really interesting things.
He stares at you for a second.
Or we could just ring the bell all day.
and it kind of like squints. He says,
What would I like to see?
We'll show you inside.
It's a rare piece of stone that's got some weird properties to it that may or may not be obsidian, but we can't tell. I found it on a different planet, but it seems to be related to this planet.
the door's open.
Okay.
I press the button
Scientists.
again. Run in.
The interior of the building is where it's very obvious that this was half completed. You see exposed rebar, half-finished walls. The staircase leading up to the second floor has no railings. You can see the support struts in between each stair. There's exposed wiring. It looks like the whole ceiling had never been finished. Crude fluorescent work lights light up the main floor, and you can see that like further down, the walls just stop completely and is just sort of like a big open space. There doesn't seem to be anything down here. It seems completely empty. And then you hear a echoing tick, tick, tick. And after a short moment, you see Oswald Dwayne standing at the landing of the flight of stairs, leaning heavily on a cane. And he is a portly, short halfling with a wispy mustache and thinning hair that's been combed over to a very ineffective covering of his bald head. His narrow, small eyes are deep set, overshadowed by a heavy brow that's covered even thicker with eyebrow. It seems like all the hair that should be anywhere is just eyebrow. He's got a loose, droopy face, jowls swing with every movement that he makes, and he is wearing a stained old lab coat and an undershirt underneath and pants hiked up to just below his sort of like pecs, way too high. And he is barefoot. And he says, "Come up and quick." And turns around and starts heading back upstairs.
Cool. We follow him.
You could catch up to him very easily. He's very slow. You can tell that he walks with a very severe limp. One of his legs practically is dragging on the floor, his foot twisted outward in sort of like a bow-legged position. And the second floor of this building is completely different. Once you reach the top of the stairs, carpeting run from every direction, except the main room in front of you, where a beautiful polished hardwood, dark hardwood floor reaches out. You can tell this is sort of the main lab area. There are devices and tubes and shelves and racks and machinery all over the place. Things that you've never seen before. These all seem to be custom made by Oswald himself. And some of the things that catch your eye immediately are these tubes with arms and limbs and hands and feet covered in a black, rocky, shiny substance. Some only have shards of it. Others are fully encased in it. And Oswald just keeps trucking into his lab, gets to a plush velvet chair and hops into it and says, "Show me what you wish to show me."
I pull it out.
His tiny little beady eyes widen as far as they can go. And he says, "You say you found this on another planet."
Yeah, my
Didn't a drifter give it to your daughter?
my daughter bought it off someone.
A vagrant.
A vagrant, possibly.
I do want to note
to me
that this story doesn't line up with what you thought. Like,
No.
telling you this story was news to you. Like, you did think that she had found it and gave it to you.
Yeah, I just thought it was found, but apparently it was given. Anyway, yeah, and then I wore it, and then I got hit by lightning.
And touching it has no adverse effect to you.
Nope. No, other people have touched it too. I don't think it's been an issue.
And nothing has happened to them. Curious. May I?
Yeah, please.
He holds out his hands, his hairy knuckles wrap around it, and he like looks at them, and he holds it up and presses it to a bright light that's hanging overhead, and he says, "Incredibly curious."
Is it from here? Can you tell?
Well, I can tell you with utmost certainty. that this is not the obsidian that plagues this world.
Oh, so it could just be a random piece of obsidian from anywhere.
I have studied obsidian for a long time. I do not think this is obsidian at all.
Oh.
May I?
Sure.
And he gestures over to a machine that's in the corner, and it looks like one of those machines at like Home Depot that has the fucking like the paint shakers, but has been heavily modified.
Okay.
And he says, a simple test could tell me what it is composed of, and I think we could perhaps go from there.
Yeah.
He walks over and places it into a solid metal container and turns the machine on. And the container has like a small little window, and you can see it beginning to sort of like slowly shake and build up speed. And as it does, the pick begins bouncing around, but slowly equals out in the middle and just kind of like hovers in the center. And all sorts of like lights and beeps and bloops are happening on this machine. And he says, this will take a moment or two, but it is connected to the Preservation Society, and if it is a known material, we will find out what it is.
Okay. Thank you.
However, you mentioned a book.
Yes. I know it's probably not your favorite thing to speak about.
Because it killed your friend.
On the contrary, it's all I wish to speak about, but nobody else does.
Oh.
Oh, wonderful.
No,
we're here to talk
we're
about
trying
it.
to find it. We believe it is an actual threat to the settlement, and we want to track it down.
You see him sort of get excited by this, and he says, yes, that's what I've been saying this whole time. It is a threat. It poses the greatest threat to all of us, to each one of us. If ever there were something to threaten Dura Sancta, it is this book.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it has gone missing as well. So that's even worse right now.
I'm aware.
How are you aware?
Because I know what the book is.
What is it? It's a tome, firstly, so we're already ahead of you.
Incorrect.
Oh, it is a book.
It is a book.
No.
And he shuffles over to the large central computer that is flanked with smaller screens, and he types a little bit in, and he pulls up a picture of a old book. It looks like someone has painted over top of it. Like if you've ever seen those paintings with like the really thick like brush strokes with like the chunks, it looks like that. It's black, but it looks like it's got this sort of like non-uniform, asymmetrical sort of like coating on it. Almost maybe like it was like dipped in tar and then hardened. There's a huge clasp that folds over and has a big metal lock on it, but the keyhole is just a circular indentation. And he says, this is what I'm calling the Book of the Damned.
Great name.
Thank you.
Feels trademarked, but I guess if you're not planning to sell, it should be fine.
So have you've seen it in person?
Yes, I was there when Darwin was killed, or rather when his body was found. I was the one to discover him.
This does look very much like a tome, though.
There's a difference.
Pray tell.
He mumbles to himself and changes the subject immediately. He says, the book is cursed.
Okay, you seem to have just completely changed the subject and been weird about it. Was that something I'm unaware of? Or are you...
Push forward. So, the book
it
was
seems
found.
important.
It does. The tome book.
He said he
thing
wants
is
to
not
talk
important.
about it. Now he doesn't want to talk about it.
No, you were just talking about the definition of a word that doesn't matter in the situation. Let's just figure out what
But
the book
he's
does.
adamant about it, which means it probably is important. Oswald,
It's
are you
because Book of
cursed?
the Damned sounds cooler than Tome of the Damned.
Tome of the Damned. Yes, I guess.
Typically,
Oswald,
a tome, if we want to get into it,
you made it seem more important than it is.
typically a tome is one of scholarly information. There's nothing informative about this.
What's in it then?
There's nothing inside of it but what you put into it. It takes, it does not give.
So it's a notebook of the damned.
He's very mad. You can see him going red. He's like sweating. Veins are bulging on his head.
Anyway.
Or is it more of a sketchbook of the dead?
Okay, Flit, doesn't matter. It's a book. What kind of book it is, not very important right now. So, anyway, you put things into this book?
As far as I can tell, the book consumes. It absorbs. It eats. and stores the essence of a person.
Do you think that your friend is still in the book?
I worry that his soul has been trapped. I spent no small amount of money on reviving him, and each seer and cleric and mystic, each one said that they heard no reverberation of a soul left, not from the boneyard or beyond.
Is that the only reason you think it consumes souls, or do you have another thing to base that on? What led you to this conclusion?
He was killed, the book laid upon his chest. But the most curious thing, and he looks at you and he says, "May I pull up a picture of the scene?"
Mm-hmm.
Is it grisly?
Yes,
Exceptionally.
I'll look away. Vlyn, tell me what happens.
Okay, I can do that for you, bud.
He pulls up a picture, and there is a man completely naked with holes in his body. Looks like someone has taken chunks out of him. Surrounding him are shards of obsidian, dug into the ground. On his chest is this book, and then Oswald pulls up some other pictures, and in that little indentation on the book is skin. You can see sort of like a tearing of skin. He pulls up another picture of Darwin's hand, and the skin off his thumb is gone, burnt around the edges.
Oh, no.
Whether intentional or forced, Darwin used this book somehow, some way, and it ended in his death, and his soul severed from it. That is not an easy thing to do. Very few things can actually sever the soul from the body.
And none of them are good?
Correct.
So there could be a devil or a demon or something pulling the strings of the book?
It would be my guess that it is demonic in nature.
Why is it here? Do you think it's part of why this planet just poof right into the system?
There's any number of reasons that I could see would be the cause of this, but perhaps a leftover of where this planet came from. Perhaps, as you said, the cause of its sudden appearance. It's hard to say, but all I do know is that so long as this book remains unchecked, the people of Dura Sancta are at risk, and my friend's soul remains trapped.
We're gonna find it.
Would you happen to know a way to go about finding it, perhaps?
He shuffles over to a what looks like an old-timey submarine radar machine, and he says, "I have been trying to find it, locate it, by means of searching for a planar energy. Everything in the world, in the universe, in the planar realms, has a signature. For example, as creatures of the material plane, we radiate a certain energy, operate on a certain frequency, a vibration. Those of the ethereal plane, it's how we can detect ghosts. Those of the Fey wilds, we can determine them based on the chaotic vibrations. Everything has an energy. I have been trying to attune this machine to demonic energy. And that way, at the very least, I can know if there's demons about, but if I could pinpoint and locate a concentrated source, it may lead me to the book. However, I have been unsuccessful. I don't have enough data to calibrate."
So how can we get you more data?
If we find a demon, we'll just,
We're not gonna find a demon. I don't think so.
we may already have, who knows?
This is my initial thought. Perhaps I could send it out, send sensors to people who fight demons, counteract demons, or a demon who would be willing to just hang around for a while in terms of payment.
Have you tried summoning one?
He looks over at a etched circle on the floor in the corner of his lab, and he says, "Yes, unfortunately, I was also unsuccessful and short a considerable amount of money. I do believe, however, that I have a calibration for demonic energy, just not a powerful enough signal to locate. If I could make a handheld version of this, however, perhaps I could send it on with you, and you would be able to do a mobile sweep of locations that may house it. For example, where it was found, or the ritual site in which Darwin was killed. Perhaps then we could figure out a reading and continue to expand our range."
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. We're down to help.
"Well then, I will prepare that for you. In the meantime, Would you like some tea?
I would love a cup of tea. I wasn't able to have one earlier because someone said I had too much caffeine in my system.
He's old, in case you hadn't noticed. His aging heart and caffeine are not a prime mix.
I probably have more than one heart.
Pardon?
What?
That's a crazy thing to say.
See, he's amped up even on the thought of caffeine. Please, a chamomile for my aged companion. However, what I will take maybe a honey bush, if you have it.
He opens a cabinet and it's just filled with tea. So yeah,
Oh, Oswald, I knew you were a man of culture when I saw this hardwood. Please, dealer's choice.
He makes you guys a pot of tea as this like device is being synthesized, fabricated in another machine in the corner. And once it's finished, he grabs these two sort of like little, they're almost like wristwatches, little bracelets that go on you with a small monitor in the center of it. These should detect the presence of a demon, or at least the frequencies in which I was able to get off of the book while I was near it. I can give you the location of both where it was found and the ritual, and see if you might be able to triangulate from there.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
He opens up map and pings two locations. One
Map.
is a location near the rivers to the sort of like northeast of the settlement.
Yep.
And then another one by the coast, not too far from where you are right now.
Oh.
And that is the location
there.
of the murder.
Okay.
Cool. Any luck on my pick? Did that result come through yet?
Yes, let me check. And he runs over to the machine and it's at like 99% complete, and it bing, and it finishes. And on the screen, it says no results found.
Oh, fuck.
Oswald, you see sort of like a shift in his whole demeanor. And he says, well, that can't be right. Hold on, let me just do a quick calibration and double check. And once again, it's like, bing, no results found. And he says, there's a troubling piece of information. I have access and composite data on every known substance, which would imply that this substance isn't from our universe.
You think my daughter traveled universes? Or the person who gave it to her?
The
That's
vagrant.
the truth? Travel universes?
Well, it would explain why everyone's so keen to snatch it from you, wouldn't it?
Oswald looks at you and he says, I'm not saying that your daughter did, or even the man that sold it to her. I am, however, saying that this did. And he hands you your pick back.
Put it back on. Okay. Well, if you come across any more information about it, send us a message.
I will reach out to some contacts in the Preservation Society and some friends I have who do research on Therum. And please keep me abreast about your locations and findings of the demonic vibrations.
Yeah, no, we will. We're gonna head to the site of the murder now before the sun goes down.
Really quickly, Oswald, you don't happen to know of a giant rock, almost like a surge stone, do you? But like a giant one. Shape out how big it is. You haven't heard of anything like that? No one's come by to stick in your little shaky machine?
Not that I know of, no.
Mysteries upon mysteries, Oswald, my good fellow. Well, if they do, if anyone comes by with a big old rock like that, you let us know.
Send us a message.
Will do. And Oswald shares his contact information with you as well.
Thanks, Ozzy, my man.
Oswald, please.
Thanks, Oswald.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time and energy.
Yes, Oswald. Sorry for becoming a little too familiar. We'll get there.
So you guys are heading to the ritual site.
Yeah, I feel like we still have a couple, like an hour or two of daylight left from how big the day's been. So
it's definitely like coming down for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like going to investigate something demonic at a murder site at dusk is the prime time.
It's golden hour, baby. Yeah.
Vlyn, this seems like a terrible idea. We should go in the morn when there's no shred of terror.
We want to find it. We want to find...
Make it quick.
You don't
will
find
be worried.
demons early in the morning.
I don't want to find a demon.
Well, we're trying to find a demon.
We're trying to find his signal, which I'm sure we could find in the morn. Let's go.
Now.
Portnoy will be worried.
Yeah.
We have to check in with him.
Well, just send him a message. We'll get home soon.
So rude. It's you need to face-to-face interactions. He's not a thing.
We're going to the murder site now.
Okay, let's just make it swift.
Yeah, so the murder site, the ritual site, was actually a fairly idyllic view. It's on like a small ridge overlooking the ocean, and you are there just in time to sort of like see the sunset. There is a large dead tree that sits on the corner of this ridge, the roots sort of extending out into the open air, and there are these mounds all around. It's very easy to find this from your approximation, Vlyn. Roughly where the obsidian was planted into the ground are now these big dirt mounds around. And as you guys get close, your bracelets begin with a faint reading. It's sort of like if there's a scale, it goes from like green to yellow to orange to red. It's like just tapping into the yellow. It's in the green, but like just beginning to like go into yellow.
So it could be residual.
Yes, I think this is just what we need to get to help triangulate or attune. So I guess we'll walk over to where it happened and let it soak in, and then we'll head home and have another tea.
Cool. You guys are going into the circle?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to roll a perception check about...
Sure.
Like, make sure there's no one watching us or following us or, So that's going to be a 10.
Yep. There it is. Right there in front of you. The ritual circle.
I walk in.
Yeah, I follow.
As you guys step into the circle, your meters beeping, 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 pop into yellow and begin hovering in the yellow. And as you get closer and closer to the center, it goes up a little higher. Now it's like hovering in the oranges. And then it drops completely down and you get no readings.
Are they broken?
And then you hear humming almost. They go.
Oh, I hate this.
The grass that was blowing in the wind stops, and like hair on the back of a neck stands up straight, rigid. You can feel it almost pushing through the soles of your shoes. And if you lift your foot to look at it, it stands up straight and you can stand on it. You're standing on these blades of grass that are rigid, don't move. The only space that isn't is the outline of a body that, Vlyn, again, was where Darwin was killed. The grass lays flat and then begins to singe like a drought, a summer's day. It burns, turns yellow, then brown, then black, then washes away in this breeze, leaving only dirt. And then you feel a hand on your shoulder, Vlyn, and a hand on your shoulder, Flit. And creeping in between you, you feel a presence and a voice whisper, "I've been dying to meet you."